So the funny part is if you guys saw how I had this camera rigged up, you would think I was brilliant or just lazy because I keep not getting the proper above head camera. All right, so hopefully this works. Again, I started in the middle. Hopefully my head is not in the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and center. Now, even though I'm gonna start with my mounds of clay wide and flat, you always wanna try and center tall and narrow. When you go super flat, it's gonna be really hard to affect the clay in the center from all the way out here. And we wanna be sort of wedging this clay. So you've seen a lot of my videos about coning. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on, not really explain very much. The coning is super important. It's gonna help you break the clay down into small sections and also wedge it at the same time, compress the clay. There's all sorts of reasons why I believe coning is important, with especially anything over 2 pounds. Again, there's that that ticking from the bat. When I have that ticking up with that, I go ahead and I get some dry clay and I just sort of stick it in the hole. The dry clay is gonna give you a little bit of time before it's flexible and malleable, so it gives you some time to center your clay. Whereas you put wet clay in there, it's probably just going to move around as much because it's wet and it's mushy and it's clay. So once you get this clay centered, tall and high, this is why plates are super difficult. In order to make this plate again, I'm going to have to go wide and flat, but it's very difficult, or takes a bit of skill and practice, to keep it centered while you're making it wide and flat. So what I'm going to be doing is pushing into the center. When I push down into the center, the clay is going to start to ooze out the side. You're going to catch it with your left hand, but beware, you don't want it to become a donut. So while you're catching it with your left hand, you also want to be pushing that donut with your left fingers down so that you're making almost a frisbee shape that is right side up with the opening on the bottom, then the other way. You don't want to catch any air from under there. So I'm pushing down into the center. The clay is starting to ooze out. And then my left fingers and left hand is pushing it in so that I don't get the space underneath here. I guess this is when the camera on the bottom would help. And look at that. Look at me popping an air bubble at the same time. So I'm just sort of pushing down, collecting the clay with my left hand, but pushing it in so that I don't trap air or create a space underneath here. So I don't want it to look like this. I want it to look sort of squared off. Now, 3 pounds of clay does not make a very large plate with a foot. And this is the other part as to why plates are super difficult. It's really important to make sure, again, just like anything with a foot, that you have enough room for that foot. So there is definitely a lot of waste on a plate. So we want at least 1 inch of clay going down. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my pin tool, put it down, and as you can see, I do have about 1 inch. I would maybe have used maybe my thinner Mud Tools wood pin tool. It's a little thinner, it'll be easier for me to close up. But you have to allow for space for the foot, which isn't just 1/4 inch, because you also need space for the actual plate itself. People always underestimate and forget the floor of their pot. So although this may look like pretty small for 3 pounds, again, we are gonna be wasting quite a bit. We're gonna be trimming out all that clay in the middle of the foot, which is good, probably about 1/2 pound of clay. So now I'm gonna open up. Now, what is opening up on a plate? It's not actually making a hole. It's really just pushing the clay from the center out to the edge so that we can define where the food's gonna go. So, 3 pounds of clay makes a small, sort of, very small, like appetizer plate, but like dinner plate. And as I start with my wet sponge to push towards me, you're gonna notice often that this little dip of clay here, this little lump. So we wanna compress that back in before it separates itself. A little bit did. So I'm compressing with my right 4 fingers and my left 4 fingers is guiding it right behind that sponge. And there's my 1 apple or 1, I don't know, 1 tomato on my salad. I don't know. Okay. Keep on going. And again, what also is super hard reason number 3 is you want to go straight. If you start to dip down, you're going to lose that evenness that you need for the floor of a plate. Whenever plates crack, it's always because the clay is uneven and it didn't dry evenly. So I'm just going to go back in and sort of recompress it. Another super important thing, I'm keeping my left thumb back here because I don't want this clay to go wherever it wants. I want this thumb right here to control how far back I go. So I'm just going to go ahead and just sort of glide it out. And I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to open it up all the way to where the bottom of my mound is. So it is going to hang over just a little bit. Okay, maybe go back. The compressing is super important. But if you're using a groggy clay, be careful because the sponge is taking away the clay and leaving the grog. All right, so now I've got my sort of food area. Now, when I say a proper plate, it's almost a little bit like a bowl with a flap or the ledge, the decorative rim of the plate. And how much clay you leave here is really how big you want that rim to be. Maybe you want to make it super decorative and you want to draw words or flowers, then you want to leave quite a bit of clay. If you're just sort of looking for a little bit of a then you don't need very much. So we're going to start to pull our walls. So I'm going to take my finger, create a little bit of a wedge under there, a little groove, and I'm going to start to pull that rim. Now, you would think that I'm going to go out, straight out horizontal, but I did not. I sort of went up. So again, it is sort of just like a little bit of a bowl situation here. I'm gonna go under here again, scoop up some more clay. Notice that I started my hand in the center and I compress as I go. Careful not to push down as I'm waiting for that outside hand to meet me. And I'm going up, and I am starting to slow my wheel down. If I go too fast, again, centrifugal force is gonna pull it out. But I still want this nice curve right here. Now, another difficult part of number 4 of making a plate, I think that's what we're up to, is we don't want to come to a point here. We need this to be substantial because as it starts to flap out, we need it to hold its shape. We also don't want it to chip when we trim it. So, I always say that you may want a thin pot, but it doesn't start thin when you first make it. It becomes thin when it shrinks in the kiln. So now that I've got this sort of flap, I'm going to create a little bit of a dinner space. So I'm going to push in with my inside hand just a little bit to go over the edge. I'm going to start to go up, and now I want to decide where that rim is going to start. So if you want a shallow plate, you're going to start a little lower. I'm just going to gently pull that over. Now I have my finger as it's almost like a rib underneath that because I don't want to go past parallel to the wheelhead. If I go past parallel to the wheelhead, science is going to win and you're definitely just going to flap down. So we want to make sure that we stay above that sort of horizon line. So I'm going to put my finger into here again and just sort of push this down. Now, there is a theory, the couple of potters, that if you make your, so this is from the side, if you make your rim of your plate up a little bit, that when it shrinks, it'll straighten out. A lot of people will make it directly horizontal to the wheelhead, and when it shrinks, it goes down. I tend to believe that. So I'm actually gonna go a little bit higher than perpendicular to the wheelhead. Now you can decide if you want, a real straight edge here, and if you do, there's metal ribs we can do. Now, a lot of people know I'm a 4 to 5 tool type of human, but this is actually, has my name, Mel. This is actually one of my favorite tools just for plates. I can decide to use this to create that space there, or maybe I want a straight edge on the wheel. On the edge. So maybe I'll start with that. Yeah, let's go that way. And I'm just gonna, with it angled this way, if you go this way, guys, you're just gonna stick it right in. And that's why people are always afraid of the metal rib, of the steel rib. And I'm using both hands to push evenly. I wanna watch that corner, just to create that sort of straight edge. If you don't wanna use that, and you wanna use your basic steel rib that comes with it, you can do that too. Again, make sure that it's angled towards you. When I say towards you, I mean that the blade or the edge of it is going away from you, but the tool's towards you, and you can create something like that. And then maybe you want a real smooth rim because you're gonna write something. Again, you can use the sharp edge, put your finger underneath, and just sort of create that smooth edge that you're aiming for. Now it's super, super important to call it a pot when you feel that it's a plot, because if this keeps on going, it will flop. Gravity will win. So when you go ahead and get rid of the extra on the bottom, you want to be super careful not to hit the pot. So I'm going to go at a real major angle, and I don't even care about taking off a lot. I just want to get rid of enough so that the clay's not doing this, because when you do this, when you flip it around to trim it, some of that may chip off. You want a real nice defined edge to the bottom so that you can see it when you're trimming. The other sort of key thing to plates is it's very hard to wire such a wide thing straight. So this is when we start to get a little tricky. I will literally put my wire tool, I always use a very thin wire as well. Don't use the one that comes with your cheap set. Mud Tools has a really fine sort of filament looking one. And what I'll do is my thumbs are flat, my finger and my thumb are pushing down on the wire against the wheel head, and I'm gonna make my wheel move super slow. And I'm gonna drag that through. And what that's gonna do, now that takes a lot of experience, guys, so if you mess it up, ooh, I almost dropped that right on there. I hit the other side. If you mess it up, don't be hard on yourself. It is not an easy skill and or thing to do. So I'm not even gonna try and get that excess off the bottom. I'm just gonna leave it. I'll wait till it dry, and then when I can take the pot off, I'll just peel that away. So stay tuned. You guys asked for a trimming video. My next one will be on trimming this plate. Have a great day. And remember, be patient. Plates are one of the hardest things you can make. I promise you.